The Morgan Report with David Morgan. Discover how to build and protect your wealth at themorganreport.com.
David Morgan of themorganreport.com for the week ending 10 November 2023. Well, I'm going to make this weekly perspective a little bit different than some going over the news, although there's plenty to go over, and I will get to it. I want to start out with the Goldback website. First of all, I'm a believer in these Goldbacks. I bought several, and I hand them out in person, usually at the investment conferences where I usually speak or attend. But there are some Silverbacks, and they're pretty rare. And Abram and Jeremy were not kind enough to send me a few. They're really collector's items at this point. This is a picture of one. And as you can see, it's a dragon. And I'll try to get it on the right perspective. And of course, if these are Goldbacks and you're going to use silver, then obviously it's called Silverback, which is interesting because that is the moniker that the Wall Street Silver people have used since basically inception. They call themselves Silverbacks, which is a moniker for apes, a silverback ape. So we'll go too far on that, but I'm just telling you from my perspective, not only are these gorgeous and collector's items, but anybody that's really a big silverback might consider looking into these. So I'll leave it at that. I will be doing an interview with either Abram or Jeremy or both at some point in the future. But right now, you can go to goldback.com and learn more. So this week, I thought I'd try something a bit different. I've done this a couple times, but not for the entire weekly perspective. But this is my Twitter account. And if you just want free information that I think is valuable, it is posted by me and me alone at this point on my Twitter feed. And we're up to almost 100,000 now. It's 95,000 followers. It's kind of cool. I think you all know my background. You don't need to, but it's at SilverGuru22, by the way. Let me point that out. For those of you that have eyesight like mine, there it is, at SilverGuru22. So just going to scroll down a bit, hopefully not too fast. This is from Silver Chiquita, I think, and I reposted it, but there's your silver ape. I just talked about the Silverbacks, which the Wall Street Silver people call themselves. This next one is talking about controlling the yield curve, which has been done in the past by Operation Twist. I'm sure the Fed's talking about that. How effective is it in the long term? Not very. I mean, things are falling apart faster and faster. I really liked reposting this one. I think it came from SRS Rocco. I'm not sure, but it shows the depletion in gold and the depletion in silver. And obviously, silver has been depleted far more than gold. And I asked the question, this is interesting. Which one depleted the most, but which one is pushing toward a new high in price? Something to consider. I will talk about this at the end. I just posted the trailer number 2 for the Silver Sunrise movie that I'm helping to produce and also helping write the script and come up with the interviewees that we want in this documentary. It will take some time. Most movies of this genre take a year and a half. We're into it for several months, but and we're in the final phase, but it's still a lot of work left, which means all the interviews we need to do. And then, of course, all those interviews get edited down quite a bit. And just for talking purposes, when I was in the Four Horsemen film, I was interviewed for about 3 hours. And I never put a stopwatch to it, but my clips that in the movie that fit the narrative probably are 3 minutes. So 3 hours worth of filming, 3 minutes worth of actual insertion in the film. And I have no problem with that at all. It's just that a lot of people have never been in a movie like that, which I've only done one of that caliber. There's a lot more to it than you might think. You think, oh, they only asked them those 3 questions and they answered them. No. They grilled me for 3 hours or so, and they took out the precise information they wanted to fit the narrative. Anyway, back to the Twitter feed here. This one is bothersome to me. Probably the most important one I posted today, the ICBC, world's biggest bank hit by ransomware cyber attacks. As I put the dash, if you listen to my latest interview, my main concern was a cyber attack, especially a bank. And here we are. I didn't expect it to be a Chinese bank, and I thought more of a Western European bank, but nonetheless, there you have it. This was posted by SRS Rocco. He may have posted it before Bob. I really don't know. Here's something I want to point out. These are the returns from the Morgan Report paid service. And this is something that I just want to point out, that these are like the top tier. And here we do like the mid tier. And I didn't show the whole thing, but down here are the specs. We only put about 10% of the equity money into these specs. I'm trying to make a percent sign, not very good at it freehand. 70% goes here. So the big money makes the big money, which is what I want. I want everyone to do that. I learned the hard way. If you put all your money down here, you'll probably go broke. And I don't want anyone to go broke. Some of these in the early days did extremely well, especially at the beginning of the cycle, say 2000 to 2005. But those days are long gone. Not that there aren't some worth fishing for in here, but the pickings are very, very small as far as ones I consider worthwhile. These are the mid-tier. So if you got 70 and 10, you've got 80. We put about 20%, maybe 30% into this section. We actually have 4 sections. There's a one in between that's junior producers. These are companies that actually produce. And I haven't updated the how to use the Morgan Report that talks about all of this while you're putting 70, 20, and 10 in. But that's the idea. So if you put the big money in, this is where you've made the most money. Not on all of them. I mean, there's a top tier that didn't do too well, but they're all positive except maybe 1 or 2. And same thing with the mid-tiers. You got some losers here, but these 2 are winners. So if you take it on balance, and many of the, let's say, AIs, accredited investors, and or fund managers, many follow our work, know to just stay in this category. I mean, some of them can't get into this category. Some fund managers can, especially the Europeans, which basically are out of the market or have been for some time. So I don't belabor it any further. I just want to point out that if you know what you're doing, you can get returns in the equity side, and it's not done the way most people believe, which is putting all your money in speculations. So moving on. This was probably a day ago, maybe not. I was talking about being long palladium for a long time, getting out near the top, taking the proceeds and putting them into silver. But I'm still long platinum. And then I have the question that I get asked a lot, and of course it's worth asking at this point in the cycle, meaning the long-term monetary debasement of all fiats, that all fiats fail. And so if you get to the top and you get that $5,000 gold or $10,000 gold or whatever, do you really want to take that gold coin or coins or ounces and trade it for fiat? And of course, this is a picture I haven't posted in a long time. It's in my file. It's, a couple of young children looking at, stacks of money during the Weimar Republic. This is, I'm not a huge fan of Bitcoin, but I am free market, and there's a lot of Bitcoin believers. I'm not against it. I'm not for it. I'm neutral on it. But it made a nice run and got up to, I guess, around 38,000 or so. I can't read it from here, but started selling off. I actually haven't checked it today. And this is one of my more recent interviews. I usually post them on Twitter, but the best place to get them is the website. So if you want to look at the latest interviews, they're all under the blog tab. And if you just hit that, you'll get the interviews that I do, the interviews that I give. And if you want to go anywhere, this is a good place to navigate. You can go to our Facebook, our LinkedIn, our Twitter or X, and our YouTube channel. And you can just come here and just play them individually. And if you want to search something like the Crypto Conspiracy series that we spent so much time on, you just type it in the search engine And there you have all 30. And these are worth going through if you haven't done it already. Certainly don't have to do them all, but I would suggest you take the first 3 or 4 and at least get a feel for what John Perez, myself, and others have verified on maybe a different look at the other side of the coin on a Bitcoin or any other Ethereum, you name it. Basically, the whole blockchain / cryptocurrency market, how it started, why it started, and where it's going. And I'm a big believer in blockchain, but I'm also want the coin to be heads up. In other words, I want it to be beneficial to people and not a control mechanism for the powers that be. And I think I've been very clear about that from the start. I'm getting a little more outspoken, although I've always been so, but I just feel strongly that we don't have a lot of time left. I think we're getting to the point with the debt situation, the acceleration of what the demands are to pay back the debt, and the supply chain breakdown, and these forces that go back and forth between inflation and deflation. It's like bending a wire, inflation, deflation, inflation, deflation, inflation, deflation. At some point it breaks. It's going to break here, it's going to break here. It's not going to break in the middle. It's going to break at one of the extremes. And so I'm concerned, as I said, as much as ever. If you're not on our free email list, I highly recommend you do it. Obviously, you can get on or off anytime you want. All you need to do is put in a first name, put in your whole name if you wish. Primary email, you hit the button, and then you'll get a verification. It's a double opt-in, which means we check first the email is valid. Secondly, you really want it, so you better say, yes, I do, after you said you wanted it the first time. And once that's completed, you're on our free list. You get the advantage of getting these weekly perspectives and everything else I do and others selectively in your email. Some you can read or not. Obviously, you have a chance to, again, opt out if you wish to. Pointing it out because there is something in the lithium space that we're giving to all of our paid subscribers, our premium service, but we're also giving them to our expireds. So someone that's bought either the book or one of the books from us or the newsletter has the opportunity on this. So I'm giving that away for free. Will I give it to the free list? I doubt it. I might later. I'm not sure. You got to be a little careful with those type of things. But regardless, we have a lithium play that I believe is going to do well, but no one knows the future, including yours truly. And I want to end with this. Certainly nothing to do with silver and gold. It has to do with humanity. And I posted this November 8th. It's Katharine Hepburn, as people in my age group would know. And I read the story, and it's a real tearjerker to me. She and her father were waiting in line to go to the circus, and there was this family that was obviously not very well off, and they were all dressed nicely and super polite, and they were at the gate, the window, to buy the tickets to go to the circus. I think there were 8, if I remember the story right. And the father said, "I want to buy, tickets for the family," and the woman gave him the price, and he didn't have the money. So Katharine Hepburn's father dropped a $20 bill on the ground and tapped the guy on the shoulder and said, "Hey, I think this just dropped out of your pocket." And the man turned around and picked it up and knew darn well what was going on and thanked him. And the whole family went in the circus. Katharine and her father went home. But in that article, she says she never felt so good giving rather than taking, and how heartfelt and warm they felt by helping out somebody else less fortunate. So I just thought it was very, very good. You can take it however you wish. There seems to be, in the Western mindset, from my experience, more and more push on materialism and less for really what's priceless. And a really good friendship is priceless. I posted something, I think, on my Instagram channel with Muhammad Ali talking about real friends and their value. And of course, that's priceless. So I'll leave it there. This is David Morgan of themorganreport.com. The week of November 10th, I'll be back with you next week. I'm feeling better. I'll probably do more of these video-wise instead of just mailing out information, which I've been doing for several weeks. several months actually. But my strength is coming back, and I'll try to get in front of the camera more often on the weekly perspectives. This is David Morgan of themorganreport.com signing off.
What if I told you that you could go broke in less than 24 hours? That's how long it took for the Dow Jones Industrial Average to plunge by nearly 22%, losing investors billions overnight. The same happened to the FTX crypto exchange and Terra Luna stablecoin. Both crashed overnight, losing crypto investors billions. You need a strategy that will protect whatever amount of savings you have now. We are going to witness the greatest transfer of wealth that has ever occurred in recorded history, and you must understand the following. You can absolutely go broke in one day. We've been helping subscribers weather this economic mess for years. Now it's time for you to get the same insights. What really happens during a major collapse is that the wealth changes hands. You will actually benefit by looking ahead and knowing exactly how to build and preserve your wealth. Putting just 10% or 20% of your wealth into our approach could make all the difference in your financial security and peace of mind over the next few years. Discover the Morgan Report today. Visit our site at themorganreport.com.